Hey there, it's Fresh Mark Sense with another fresh review. Today I'll be reviewing fresh, sweet and creamy scents. These are scents that are sweet and creamy foremost to have a very nice effect in the summer and spring when you want to have some class, something comfortable to snuggle up to. But the fresh citrus notes in these perfumes will add something a little bit different and let people know that you're wearing something seasonally fresh for the summer vibe and really revitalize your scent and keep it fresh for a long time. So people know that you're wearing something and really you're projecting a nice musky tone with some refreshing citrus. So let's get straight into it with one that I use quite often as a chibi, Ferragamo Uomo. I probably said that wrong. Salvador Ferragamo Uomo. Always tricks me with the name. But this eau de toilette has a tiramisu note, which is very creamy, sweet. Opens up with some, I believe it has some citrus in it, like a little bit of bergamot. But that's just a light, creamy touch. And it really rounds off the perfume in a sweet way with the top notes of sweet, slightly zingy bergamot, the sandalwood and sweet notes of tiramisu, and it has general sweet notes actually that says, which reminds me of pineapple gummy bears. Not so much the pineapple note itself, because pineapple in there is quite synthetic and it's more of a sugary sweetness. But the after sweetness of a gummy bear, that's how I would describe the sweet notes that are in here. So you have that tiramisu, tonka bean, which is the milk chocolate cream sweetness of that. So it's a very relaxing perfume, and I'd heavily recommend it for anyone who wants to spend about £35. This is about £35 for 100 ml. Not too expensive, but a great go-to scent for summer. Salvador Ferragamo Uomo. Check that one out. The Eau de Toilette. Eau de Parfum is pretty good, but well, it's not as versatile. So the next one, very fresh, Jaipur pour homme, the Eau de Toilette. This is a classic perfume, heavy on the jasmine, so it's a very uplifting white floral. Let's spray it in the air together. Uplifting white floral, you get that honey, you get a honey note in the base, you get some cinnamon, so the sweetness is really popping off. And it reminds me of honeydew flowers. So honey blossom with a little bit of dew in the morning. And the reason why it reminds me of that is because I went to Beatrix Potter Primary School, and they have honey blossom flowers in the back, I remember. And in the spring, I used to go out, and one of the things that really reminded me that it's spring, I said, oh, I don't know the months of the calendar right now, so I don't believe it when people tell me it's spring. I just wait until these flowers come out, and when I smell it, I know that spring is here. So that's how I used to say. I used to say, I don't trust this woman who writes the date on the board. I think she's tricking me. It's raining outside. I said, I'm gonna go outside, see if the flowers are still open. So that is the smell that reminded me of childhood memories, primary school, when you're like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years old, and you really feel the season coming to life in spring when you spray Jaipur pour homme EDT. Not ODT, OGT. All right, OTG Genesis. All right, the next one is Mancera Wild Python. Very clean, fresh neroli scent. I'm going to spray this on me because I love the bergamot on here. The bergamot in here is very zingy and sour, but fresh at the same time. It starts with that zingy lime peel zest note of the bergamot, then it gets into the juicy freshness, like you just squeezed the lime and that juice is really just popping off. And then you get the neroli, which is a white floral. So where this differs from here is that this is a sweet perfume, and it doesn't have white floral notes. it has a creamy sweetness, whereas this is a natural sweetness from the neroli. So Mancera Wild Python, it's a beautiful bottle, by the way. I have to say, every time I see it, I mean, wow. Anyway, that is very long lasting. One spray will last you about 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours. If you have skin that doesn't really react well to perfume, even then, I've tested it on ladies' skin that doesn't react so well to perfume, and I smelt about 7 hours later when he come back from work, or 7 or 8 hours. And sometimes I top her up. I actually just topped her up with this one when she came back. Because it came back in 4 hours, and I thought mix instant crush, but maybe it's a bit too much neroli with instant crush. But she loves that perfume. So this is very long lasting, and I've tried it, and it does last for about 7 to 8 hours, even on skin that doesn't really project so much. But this projects massively, yet it's clean, fresh, sweet, and it has a little note of peach in it. And I think the osmanthus, which is a slight peachy, leathery suede tone, that really keeps it in the unisex tone, so everyone can wear this scent. This is marketed mainly as a women's scent, but I find this is perfectly unisex if you want something clean, fresh, a little bit singy, and revitalizing. Definitely check that one out, Mancera Wild Python. You may have realized I've taken a little bit long with these fragrances, but I mean, they're an experience. Sometimes I have to go through the whole thing, the top, middle, the dry down, so you know what's going on. So the next one is Lacoste Timeless. This is zingy. This is even, I mean, this rivals the previous one in zinginess, but its price is so cheap. I mean, I got this for £15 for, I think that's a 50 ml, so that's fantastic price. Anyway, zingy bergamot, the raspberry keeps it refreshing and sour. I'm going to spray this in the air because, I mean, I don't use this just for air freshener or something, but I need to remind myself. Just avoided the eye. I'm going to shot myself in the eye. That's not a good vibe. Right. So, very sour in the opening, and then it comes in the middle with some jasmine to uplift it. Almond makes it a little bit different, a little bit creamy, a little bit bitter. The sour sweetness of the skin, or the oils of the almond, the bitter sweetness of the almond oil is coming through. Yeah, it's coming through because it really laid down on my hand. I had to sort of just catch that. I backhanded it. It just hit me right on the wrist. Lovely. So you get the almond, and in the base you get some cashmere wood, which keeps it very warm and snuggly. So all of these perfumes have that creamy, sweet vibe. The creaminess gives it a snuggly comfort vibe. The sweetness provides something to compensate for any musky tones you may have gathered from walking by on a sunny day. And the freshness revitalizes the scent to keep it fresh and let people know that you're wearing a perfume. So this ticks all of those boxes at a great price. Lacoste Timeless, fantastic. If you want to get it just for 50 ml, use it in the spring days. We don't have many spring days in summer, so you best enjoy it and wear Lacoste Timeless. So next one goes in a fresher direction. So this is a neroli perfume, Le Male Eau Fresh Andre edition. So this has a neroli base as well, so neroli mid. So neroli mid, sweet bubble gum mint, similar to Invictus in its sweetness, but the mature fresh softness of neroli really softens it down. And they replaced the lavender, which is usually overly sweet, with some clary sage, which has touches of lavender essence sort of feel to it. Clary sage is a little bit more lavenderish, but it still has that herbal freshness that will take it into the fresh, minty, herbal, clean neroli scent. Now I'm going to spray on my jeans. Yes, I'm doing the most here. I'll probably get to my feet by the end of this scent. Yes, very, very minty, very fresh, almost herbal, but not aromatic like a cardamom sweet scent. It's got that slightly synthetically sweet mint, but the rest of the mint is natural and crisp. If you get the sweetness of the mint is synthetic and bubblegum like Invictus, but the rest of the mint is green, fresh, and crisp. So that's what's going on with this perfume. Very fresh. Hopefully you can get it online for a good price. I paid about £60, £66 I think. £50 to about £66 for 100 ml. But hopefully you get that cheaper. Another one that I recommend is the Superman edition. Where did that go? Where did that go? I really don't know. Oh, there we go. Superman edition. This is more minty rather than fresh. So this has some freshness on neroli, but it's more aldehydes and minty. Feels like in the sky. And this one is a fresher, slightly more mature version that I pick every day. So onwards and upwards with that. So we've had the slightly fresh neroli. We've had a little bit of almond and sweet notes and almond, and this goes into more almond and lemony territory. So it's tart lemon, almond bitter sweetness, and you have the same sort of cashmere warmth, but it feels like it's got a little bit more depth and the sort of camphorianess. Camphorious top opening. Camphorious is like a bitter herbal green freshness, so camphor is a relaxing, almost like a matcha tea. If you've ever smelled matcha tea, it's got a bitter dry herbal aspect to it. So this isn't so camphorious, but it's got a light camphorious touch, more of a tart lemon opening, which is like a sweet lemon, and you get that almond in the middle, very creamy in the base. I find this is perfect for summer and spring if you're wearing like a cashmere on top, and you got your polo neck, and you're sort of fresh in the summer wearing all white, and that sort of fresh summer picnic feel, in the park and just casual with friends. I mean, you can wear it formally and it would have a nice touch to it, but I don't think it would have enough oomph to give you some presence if you're wearing it formally in the office. But this is very relaxed, playful, and fresh. Spray that in the air. Did I get it right? Yeah, camphorous, fresh, and almond. The next one is similar to this one in the way how it opens up in a fruity way, but in terms of the vanilla and the woody aspects of it, it really dominates it in the creaminess. So this it's like this in the fruity aspect in top, but it goes in a much more creamy direction. This is Oud Blue Notes by Mancera, and it's quite unknown actually in the Mancera circles. Not many people talk about it. I think the great thing about this is it has a driftwood and Gourniac wood, driftwood like Gourniac wood note with vanilla in the mid. So it opens fruity and not too fresh. It's more of a fruity and creamy with leather in the base. So when I spray this, I'm just gonna, because this is a little bit different, we're gonna have to explain this properly. Yes. Now, have you ever tasted blue raspberry slush? I don't want to mislead you by the color of the bottle, but maybe I'm being misled. But whenever I smell this, it smells like blue raspberry slush. In the base, it smells like pink lemonade with some vanilla. And in the mid, you get that Gourniac wood, driftwood, dry. It's a dry wood mixed with a creamy sandalwood. So you get a soft ripple of the ocean effect. Like the waves are rippling on the sand, and that smooth, creamy, white sand scent is rippling on the edge of the ocean with some oceanic, because it had some green notes in the top, green notes and fruity notes. So it feels like the fruits are almost washing onto the ocean, and the smooth ripple effect where you're just on the shore and you're really just feeling the whole beach sunset as it's deserted yet calm. Yeah. So this has a dark blue oceanic feel with the vanilla in the mid, and I feel that the driftwood gives it a somber yet relaxing appeal. So this is casual, fruity. It's not a fresh scent, but it's a calm, relaxing, and subtle scent, which will keep you creamy fresh and sweet. The freshness comes from the light, fruity notes, but I feel that it doesn't ever become herbal or mentholic in any way. So there is no medicinal oud, there is no oud note in here. I think that the oud is maybe just the dry woody note which is present, which is actually called Gugnac wood in the notes. So, well, doesn't matter about that. So it's a great scent for summer if you want to be casual, and check that one out. And the next one is something with lemon tart freshness. This is Prada Iris de Cedre. Iris de Cedre, that is the one. Prada Iris de Cedre. And this has, okay, on the notes, Iris was Cedre Neroli from Tunisia, incense from Somalia, and benzoin from Laos. Yeah, so in terms of benzoin, the warmth of it, you get that after you get the tart lemon in the top. So you get some tart lemon in the top. This is a neroli perfume, but it's a very light and fresh, effervescent neroli perfume. So much so it reminds you of the cleanliness of a clean white ironed shirt. So just pressed, little bit starched, just clean and fresh. In the winter, that's pretty much all you'll get from it. But in the summer, you get some sweet lemon tart notes, and the tart note really is, when it's mixed with the powdery note resembles the base of a lemon tart. So it's quite interesting that it's an effervescent lemon tart in summer, which is quite fruity and a little bit playful, yet subdued and quite royal at the same time, because it reminds me of that royal lemon musk that Edwardian kings or princes would wear, because all they'd have is lemon and musk, and this is the finest lemon musk I've ever smelt, because that neroli gives an effervescent, smooth, white floral touch that is quite unique in all the perfumes that I smelt. And it's recommended by Redolescence. That's how I got it. So shout out to him. Well done in choosing a great fragrance, and thank you for recommending that to me, and I'm recommending that to you. So, great recommendation by Redolescence and me. Prada Iris de Cedre. Check that one out. And we've got two more. This one is Mancera Black Gold. Now, you may have heard of this as a dark scent, but I don't really feel it's a dark scent. I feel it's a lavender scent with touches of spices. You got some citrus in the top a little bit, but that citrus fades and it stays muted. The lavender is a calming mix with a touch of creamy iris. This goes into the more fresh territory with sea notes, and it reminds me of a fresh, cool day at the seaside. So maybe in the afternoon when it's not warm, but it's fine, you know. So this reminds me of Andre Edition. This is a warm day at the beach, and this is a cold day just going for a stroll and really feeling the bluster and the brisk waves just crashing on the shore, you know. So check this one out if you want something that's fresh, calming with that. I think the lavender is a star in here, and it's supported by sea notes and citrus notes to give it some burst and some crash with citrus and some wave, and the foam comes from the iris lavender concoction mixed with the C notes, which are slightly mineral, but never too pronounced or never too much like seaweed, which is one fear that I do get with some C note perfumes that smells a little bit like seaweed and that's a bit too much. Wave musk is like that, but in a nice way, and sometimes it's a bit too much, but I love it in the same way for summer. And the last one, for people who love expensive fragrances, the latest limited edition Tux by Dua 100 ml. So check that out. That is the main fragrance in this. I really feel the thing that makes it special is the lily of the valley note. It smells like water dew droplets in the morning. And I never really thought about how romantic it was until I smelt it. And I thought, this smell is the smell of waking up after a beautiful night. And that is why it's so special. You know, you get that lily of the valley in the base, and it opens up with slight touch of rose, never too overpowering. It is a pink rose, so beware men who are a bit too masculine, a bit scared of this kind of thing. It's a pink rose, but it's not a strong rose. Before it gets too pink and floral and a bit like peony and you get that sort of pollen reaction maybe. It goes into the woods of patchouli, and it's lightened by a big white cloud of almost cotton-like silver dew, lily of the valley, white floral. Fantastic. I'm just going to spray this one time on my jeans because, I mean, depends where you want attention. I'm joking. So you get that patchouli, you get that rose, you get... Okay, I'm going to tell you, it's not the most out there attention-grabbing scent, but I'm going to tell you that it's a very nice formal dinner date scent. If you were out in the evening, people would know you're mature because you got that rose in you. You got that nice woody patchouli note, which is strong but not overpowering. And the lily of the valley is what pushes out. So this smells a little bit like Tom Ford white patchouli, but the peony is dialed down a lot less because you're using rose with the powderiness, and the natural freshness comes out from the lily of the valley. So definitely check that one out, and check it out quickly because that is limited edition by Dua. So don't go blind buying it if you don't like rose, because you will be put off by rose. Okay, if you don't like sweet rose, if you don't like slightly feminine rose, there is a slightly feminine rose in here, but they stop it from being overpowering. So check all of these fragrances out. I've gone on for long enough. I was going to put them in an honorable mentions list, a couple of them, but I thought this is what I think about the fragrances. I got so many fragrances at the backs, I might as well flex with it and tell you what I think about these ones before I go on buying some crazy amount of perfume which I can't handle. Anyway, take care guys. Let me know what you think in the comments section and stay fresh. Pow.